Well, good morning, Nancy. I'm glad we've got some time this morning to talk about the upcoming growth of Admazo, and really want to go back to how you and I reconnected a year or so ago. Truth is, we've known each other for a while, and last year we said, "Hey, there's something new here. I'm working on this Admazo project for a little while," and we chatted about it. So, I'm curious, what got your attention?
Well, first, good morning, Kurt. And I think what really got my attention is, so many times we get back in touch with people that have been in our lives and we go, it's the time, would you like to catch up? What's new with you? What's going on with you? And so when you and I were talking and you were sharing a little bit about what you were doing, it really piqued my interest because I think as a business owner or even just, living life, we're always looking for ways to improve and to grow, Kurt. And I saw just a smidgen of your vision. Hey, that's a good one, smidgen of vision.
Maybe I like that.
And then, and it was very intriguing to me because, again, I'm a lifelong learner and I want to continually evolve.
Well, I appreciate that, and the simplicity of what I've been able to put together is really the fact that when somebody says, "Hey, I that spark's lit," we got to be ready to respond with what's the next step. So in Admazo, we have business systems. One of them's called the business EKG. I have a lot of fun doing. I learn a lot about people. It helps me learn about what they're doing. It also lets me find out who are they serving. How can what anything we're doing or I'm doing individually or AdmazoVerse doing help your specific type of clients. So you share with me, people that may have had an injury, an illness, or want some guidance in terms of their health and wellness. And that's a big space. But you have been able to, over your career, not only help individuals, but you've helped women's groups, you've helped online networks grow and nurture themselves. And that's a big part of what I saw in the EKG is, you have a Christian, you feel you have a Christian faith and responsibility you want to share and talk about. We want to talk about nurturing, nurturing meet somebody where they are, but have many ways to help them. We've created, with your guidance, a support team, the Admazo support team, because someone meets one of us and doesn't mean they know all of us. If something comes up like this and I'm able to create guidance, and we created the Admazo support team button. So Nancy can say, well, hey, that's out of my field, but hit my support team button up there. And it can take you to a caring entrepreneur within the Admazo universe. And for the other part is opening new opportunities. The CPR process, which is what we're going into now, is about clients, partnerships, and resources as a business. So I appreciate your honesty and input to this. One of the things that we measure in the EKG are it's numeric. It's on a scale of 1 to 10. Don't you love those questions? On a scale of 1 to 10. It's like, oh, I don't know how to answer that. Well, ironically, entrepreneurs do. When I used to do this live with 100 people in a room, and they had to fill this sheet out before I started the meeting, which was the business EKG in a written form. So I would introduce someone, just simply picking them out of this pile of 100 people who filled this out, say, I want to talk about Nancy today. And I would walk through the business EKG with an audience. And it's amazing how people gravitated to that person instantly. Because one of the things of honesty is, how am I as a business owner? No one really wants to be asked that question because we're not quite sure how it works. But how well do we communicate with our audience? How well do we create, is our brand creating prestige? These types of things are what we want to bring to the table. And at Mazo, on a scale of 1 to 10, A lot of the things that you think people are eights, nines, and tens, what I find is good entrepreneurs answer these, look at themselves honestly. And what I've learned is people do want to get the help. And if we help them find out where they're starting with, we can help them better. So that's a long-winded version there, Nancy, of uh, as we move into the CPR process and are now installed, putting your business in the AdmazoVerse, how's it feel?
It feels like we are evolving. And when you first had mentioned the EKG, Kurt, I have to be honest, I'm sitting there going, what is this? Are we going to go for this medical exam, or what are we going to be doing? And so it was very interesting when you just first mentioned it to me, very intriguing to me. And you promised it would not be painful, and it was not. But I also, it was very revealing, and it helped me to be able to see and stop and find the strengths and the weaknesses in my business. And so, as far as the process continuing on, Kurt, I love that you go one step at a time and you go through each step and make sure that it's complete and it's building on each other, which is so huge. I mean, so many times people in business, are just jumping in and being bombarded by all the different how-tos, what-tos, and everything else. But you have really simplified, and it has been very growing and helpful for me to be able to see my business through your eyes.
Well, and that's really, I appreciate your input. That's pretty deep input because my experience being around entrepreneurs, and I've been around the entrepreneurial world for a long time. And most of the times, the people that I see succeed is they're always open to conversation. They're always open to, hey, are you seeing something that may benefit me? Because ultimately, here's the thing: Admazo really wasn't necessarily built for the business community. It was actually built for moms and dads. Mm-hmm. See, our purpose is the interaction between the business and the consumer. Because when the business isn't operating well, or approaching or communicating well, or creating a great experience well, or any of the things we measure, and aren't getting the leadership from their caring entrepreneurial universe, that's the problem. Not whether the person is good at what they do. And we want consumers to drive the market. The AdmazoVerse is the consumer driving in a different space to get what they want, to find out how we can benefit them. And our role really is mostly to create the experience of them receiving from the companies, from the caring entrepreneurship that we attract, and sort of get what they want when they want it. Sounds like something, from a day in the past, but our vision is really is improved relationships. Mm-hmm. It's a worn out word. Well, I just want a good relationship. Well, what's that mean? Mm-hmm. In business, it's a little different. We're not family necessarily, but we form bonds. And the business CPR that we're starting with Nancy now, we're going to give you a report on that next week, is clients, partnerships, and resources to our business and our relationship to those people. Mm-hmm. And how that can go back to step one was, how does it help our businesses interact more simply with their clients, partners, and resources. So, Nancy, we covered a lot. I think, my last question to you is, and Robert put this out a year ago, and so I'm using this. He said, we're benefiting humanity. And I thought that was really big. I said, wow, that's going a little, over the top maybe, but not. So, big question, Nancy, the AdmazoVerse, and combining with the CEO support team, how will humanity benefit from that?
Well, first and foremost, Kurt, it's people. It's fellowship among people. And just like you've said, all ages and stages. And it's coming together and bringing that support and those resources and those things that families need to be able to use and utilize, and to teach and train the next generation also. And so I think it's really so valuable that we are supporting how humanity can continually grow together in a positive, progressive way. And it's something that everybody, whether they're single, whether they're, in a family, or they're young people, can take part in a safe environment. And I think it's really important in this day and time, especially, for us to continually keep humanity first and foremost.
Those are big words. And, the thing is, that's who we are. We just got to know it a little bit more and maybe learn some things that help us interact better. And the thing just in closing, what I appreciate, Nancy, is your time and your contribution over the last 12 months or so. It's been very meaningful. It's been a learned experience for, I think you, me, and Robert together have really come together under these principles. We are our first story. And, I hope we can continue that, because what we've done in the last years is really symbolic of what I'm hoping we will be able to do. And I think we've done it. And I'm happy about that. And your contribution to that is immense. So everyone will meet Robert another time on another segment. But thank you, Nancy. I appreciate your time. And I'll catch up with you later today or tomorrow, or one of these days.
Thank you, Kurt. I'm so grateful to be continuing on and look forward to the next exciting episode.
All right.